What's happening, everyone? It's Ben here with Millenium Drums to show you how you can tune your bass drum at home. Now, just like learning to play the drums, tuning drums also requires practice and some creativity. I'm going to show you today some real quick tips on how you can make your bass drum sound super cool. With a bass drum, there are two sides that we can tune it from. The front, which is our resonant head, and the back, which is our batter head. This is the head that the bass drum pedal hits. The first thing we have to do is choose a bass drum head for our batter side. I've chosen the Millenium Drums Eminence series. This head is coated, which will give me a super warm sound. It's also 2-ply, and each ply is 7.4mm thick, meaning that it will kill any unwanted overtones. Now that I've seated my head onto the bass drum, I'm going to add my bass drum hoop. This hoop has a hoop guard for my bass drum pedal to make sure that I don't damage the hoop whilst playing. To add tension to our bass drum head so we can tune it, I'm going to use these tension bolts and these bass drum claws. The tension bolt fits through the claw like this, and then we can place them on our hoop at each lug box. Now that I've done this, it's time to make all the tension bolts finger tight. Remember, it's super important to be tuning diagonally so the tension comes down onto the drum evenly. With some tension bolts, when you first use them, they may be a little bit stiff. Your lug boxes may need some grease. If that's the case, you can use a drum key just to take them to the same tension as your fingers would also. Now that we've done this, it's time to see if the drum is in tune with itself. I'm going to take this mallet and I'm going to play a few millimeters away from the edge of each tension bolt to see if the drum is in tune. Each bolt should have the same tone. If it doesn't, that's how I will know that it is not in tune with itself. To me, it sounds like a couple of the tension bolts need adjusting. I'm going to make those changes now. Now it's time to start tuning the drum. I'm going to take each lug bolt up one full turn. I will then take a look at the resonance side, and we can come back to the batter side later for more fine tuning. This head is the head that came with the kit. It's a single ply head and already has a hole cutting it for miking options. I'm now going to fit the hoop onto the top, and just like before, I can apply the bass drum claws and tension bolts. Again, if you have difficulty here with some of the tension bolts, you can use your key to make sure that they are all finger tight. Okay, now that we've done that, we can see if this drum is also in tune with itself and check the tension at each point on the resonant head. They're all now at the same tension, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each lug up 1.5 turns. Now that we've fitted both heads to the drum, it's time to look at the finer tuning of our bass drum. Here is where I encourage you to get creative and have an experiment at home. Some drummers might like their head super loose, whereas others might like it tight. My advice regardless is make sure the tension is spread evenly over the drum so that the drum is always going to be in tune with itself. A quick tip for you, if you apply some pressure into the middle of the drum, you might see some wrinkles around the edge. These wrinkles indicate that perhaps the tension is not quite tight enough at that point of the drum. You can keep these if you like, but sometimes it's really good to get rid of them. I think this drum sounds great. However, we still have a little bit too much of a long decay. I would probably use this drum in a rock or pop situation. So I'm going to add some dampening to the inside of my drum to take away any unwanted overtones. As you can hear, this bass drum now sounds fantastic. It's short, punchy, and would be perfect for a rock or pop playing scenario. That's everything from me. I've been Ben with Millenium Drums. Be sure to drop me a comment below if you have any questions that have been unanswered. Like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more cool content in the future. See ya!